stop a diet, you significantly increase the difficulty of restoring your physiology to normal. Don't worry about counting calories. Today, magazines, sports stores, and specialty shops offer a wide variety of calorie counting gadgets. You could strap one into your wrist or ankle, go for a walk, a bike ride, or pound the Stairmaster for 30 minutes and decide how big of a piece of pie you deserve for dessert. Well, there are some serious flaws in this approach. When trying to determine how many calories to consume each day, many fail to calculate how many calories it takes to meet the demands of just being alive. A whopping 50 to 70% of all the calories you consume are used to generate the heat and life energy to keep your cells turned on. Not cleaning the house or shooting a few hoops just alive. This is your resting metabolic rate, or RMR. Another 5 to 15% of your caloric intake is needed for digestion and elimination. You also need to consider your daily activities and how your individual body functions. This is referred to as the X factor. X factor, a variable that can either increase or decrease daily energy expenditure based on several genetic, hormonal, and environmental factors. Fidgeting would fall into this X factor category. We don't all lead the same life, nor do we interpret stressors or environment in the same way. If you eat according to your primal pattern type, chapter 3, you'll convert food into energy more efficiently. This means you'll expand or dissipate more of the energy you take on board, leaving less to store as fat. If you follow fad diets or eat incorrectly for your primal pattern diet type, your blood sugar balance is disrupted. Energy production is inefficient and your cells must slow down because your meal is causing stress on your body instead of aiding in smooth operations. There will also be more waste material left behind from eating incorrectly, which is often toxic to the body. It may get stored in the fat cells to protect the liver while it catches up. Each of us responds to stressors differently. The X factor for determining caloric expense includes such stressors as job and relationship challenges and responding to weather changes. We also display various levels of spontaneous activity such as fidgeting. As depicted in Figure 2, there are a number of factors that must be considered just to meet the requirements of running your body and keeping it healthy. Be aware that anytime you try to run your body without adequate fuel, the right mix of fuel, or on poor quality fuel, you drastically increase your chances of slowing your metabolism and becoming fat. Your body requires different amounts of fuel based on a variety of factors. When you do not provide your body with adequate fuel, the right mix of fuel, or poor quality fuel, you drastically increase your chances of slowing your metabolism and becoming fat. You are when you eat. Few people understand the link between when they eat and their health, let alone their body shape. Starting your day off with a small meal, coffee and toast, or a Pop-Tart, followed by a snack for lunch, such as a bagel, only to come home intensely hungry and pig out, will make your body look like your meal proportions. As described in the chapters 11 and 12, cortisol is an activating hormone. Cortisol levels are highest between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m., which means your metabolism is stimulated and your cells are anxious for you to eat after having fasted all night. For most, particularly women wanting to restore or elevate their metabolic rate, breakfast should be the largest meal of the day, comprising as much as 25% of your daily calories. If you're a carb type, you may do well on smaller breakfasts, making you the only exception to the rule. Carb type or not, all breakfast meals must contain proteins, carbohydrates, and fats in the correct ratio for your primal pattern type. Eating a full breakfast will provide you with both staying power and energy. In my experience, people who eat a proper breakfast feel better and are more likely to be physically active during the day. Eating snacks between meals will constantly reassure your body that energy and nutrition are on board, which often results in an elevated metabolism. The body's metabolism is also elevated by eating, simply because the process of digestion, utilization, and elimination of food is at work for the body. When you eat regularly and snack as needed, your metabolic rate will achieve its genetic set point and you'll achieve your genetic shape. If you don't like the way you look, but you are not overweight, consider consulting a Czech practitioner to coach you towards shaping a new you. Are you hungry all the time? If you find you're constantly hungry and have gained weight from eating too much, you may not be hungry, you may be thirsty. In his excellent book, Your Body's Many Cries for Water, Dr. Batman Galadij explains that hunger pangs are frequently a symptom of dehydration. I found this to be true with my clients and in my own experience. If I feel hungry long before I would normally eat, I drink a couple cups of water and hunger pangs usually subside. Until you get in the habit of drinking water regularly throughout the day, it's easy to get dehydrated without realizing it. Drinking water also gives you energy. Water is a key catalyst in digestion, enzymatic actions, and energy production throughout the body. When you drink adequately for your bodily needs, you're less likely to consume soda and pick-me-up foods that generally throw your blood sugar levels off and cause stress on the body. Checkpoints for losing weight. Eat right for your primal pattern type and never diet. Eat regularly to satisfy hunger, consume slightly smaller main meals, and include snacks to elevate your metabolic rate. Eat high-quality food. Drink plenty of water. Ideally, you should drink half your body weight in ounces of water per day times 0.033 equals how much water you should drink in liters. Move your body. If you don't like a structured exercise program, simply remain active. Park your car at the far end of the parking lot, take the stairs, and walk as often as you can. Go to sleep by 10:30 p.m. Disrupting your sleep-wake cycles equals more stress on your body and increases your chances of gaining weight because of hormonal imbalances. Burn your diet books. Case history. Gwen Miller, Czech practitioner, level 1. Client of Megan Valente, Czech practitioner, level 2. Czech HLC level 3, San Francisco, Santa Rosa, California. When I first met Megan Valente, I was an overweight, unhealthy 39-year-old woman. I had not exercised or followed a healthy lifestyle for over a decade, and 2 pregnancies into 2 years had left me deconditioned, stretched out, and discouraged about ever getting back into shape again. My body fat was almost 38% and I weighed almost 200 pounds. In addition, I had very poor posture, what I now know as upper cross syndrome, with extreme forward head posture, rounded shoulders, and chronic low back sciatic pain. My balance was extremely poor. In fact, I have 5 scars, 3 of which required emergency room stitches to repair as results of falls. The first thing Megan did was teach me some simple exercises using a Swiss ball as an unstable environment. She explained that, according to the Czech principles, I had postural muscle imbalances, that my stabilizers were not firing properly, and for these reasons she was not going to put me on machines, and further that my transversus abdominis, which I had never heard of, was turned off. Megan worked with me using a Swiss ball and a blood pressure cuff to train my stabilizers and core musculature to work again. She began to increase the complexity of the exercises and decrease the base of support as I progressed. For example, to train the internal and external oblique musculature, she introduced me to exercises such as the cable wood chop, increasing the level of difficulty by combining the wood chop motion with a weight shift. As my condition improved, she introduced complex exercises such as the single arm pull with a weight shift, and then when I mastered that, she put me on a balance board to perform the exercise. Megan always kept my program interesting and challenging by following the Czech protocol. Within 3 months, I had lost about 15 pounds of scale weight and my body fat was down to 27%, a decrease of over 10%. Then I discovered that I was pregnant with my 3rd child. What a blow, just when I was getting back into shape again. Now I see that pregnancy as a blessing, but unfortunately, my attitude was lacking then. Megan encouraged me to continue working with her during my pregnancy and study program modifications for me that kept me in shape so that at least we didn't lose ground. I trained under Megan until my 7th month when, at the advice of my doctor, I stopped training due to severe sciatic pain. The pregnancy and delivery were my healthiest. I birthed my 3rd son completely drug-free and having had all the drugs and epidurals available for the first 2 deliveries. Of course, I returned to training under Megan as soon as I could. Within 2 weeks, I was easing back into cardio and we were training in a month. That 3rd pregnancy left me with a slight weight gain, and I topped the scales at 210 pounds. Within 3 months, I had shed 20 pounds with exercise alone, and then my weight loss plateaued. My balance coordination had improved. My body fat was around 25%. I no longer bruised and damaged the left side of my body on a regular basis, but something was still missing. What could it be? The answer was nutrition. Megan returned from a week-long Czech certification program and gave me about a gazillion pages to fill out, questionnaires regarding my lifestyle and dietary habits, from what I ate for breakfast to how my sex drive was, and everything in between. She also had me read the metabolic typing diet and take the self-test to help determine which foods I should eat. We began to look at possible food intolerances, and she instructed me to cut out wheat for 2 weeks, then dairy, and to drink only water. Well, I protested. I liked my bread. I was a big milk drinker from childhood on. I wasn't giving up my coffee, and I had alcohol every day. So Megan loaned me the Flatten Your Abs Forever video. This DVD is available from the Czech Institute. And lights started coming on. Things started making sense. I cut out the dairy first and replaced that glass of milk. I had every meal with 2 glasses of water. The weight began to come off. 4 pounds in a week, I believe it was. Then I cut off the wheat. More weight came off. Then I cut out the alcohol. More weight melted off. Mind you, at this point I was still exercising, but probably less. I was certainly doing less cardio and about the same amount of resistance stabilization training, but the main thing that changed was nutrition. No one had ever looked at my nutritional habits before, and it was a huge missing piece. As I sit here typing this testimonial, I am 60 pounds smaller. I am still a work in progress, but aren't we all? If I could shed 60 pounds through lifestyle changes and keep it off as a 42-year-old mother of 3, I know it is possible for others to accomplish similar feats. In fact, I am now committed to helping others the way Megan helped me. I want to help others find the happiness and satisfaction that I have found through functional strength and nutrition as Megan taught me and as Paul Chek taught her. I am now a certified fitness trainer, and my mentor Megan, who has become a dear friend over the past 3 years, is now also a colleague. I am following in her footsteps, studying the Czech methods, and have become a Czech practitioner myself. You must begin to think of yourself as becoming the person you want to be. David Viscott. In addition to regular exercise, a commitment to good health, including eating responsibly and choosing the right foods, an improper diet can ruin a good digestive system. Chapter 14. Is your digestive system healthy? But perhaps you're eating quality foods in accordance with your primal pattern diet type and still not feeling your best. In order for a new eating plan to be effective, you must make sure your digestive system is fully functional. There's a direct relationship between the health of your digestive system and your overall look, feel, and physical performance. In this chapter, we'll discuss the organs in the digestive system and the importance of keeping them healthy. Common causes of poor digestion, healthy options for digestive distress, the importance of removing unnecessary stressors from your life and diet, the importance in restoring proper support to the digestive organs. Your digestive system, mouth. The digestive process begins in the mouth. For optimal conversion of food to energy, elimination and prevention of unwanted fungi and parasite infestation, food should be chewed until liquefied. While chewing, enzymes from saliva mixed with food to break down carbohydrates. Proper chewing prepares food for digestion. Chewing too quickly and swallowing prematurely leave food particles too large for stomach acids to break down and kill the parasites and fungi hiding inside. Once unfriendly parasites reach the more alkaline small intestine, they can burrow into lay eggs. Large food particles also make it difficult for the small intestine to absorb food molecules and extract nutrients. If fungi never enter your body through your mouth and survive the stomach, they often begin debilitating the immune system. Stomach. Food enters the stomach and mixes with additional enzymes and HCl, hydrochloric acid. HCl, produced by special cells in the stomach wall, breaks proteins down into amino acids for absorption in the small intestine. It also kills unfriendly bacteria, germs, fungi, and parasites. The ability to properly digest food in the stomach is dependent upon having adequate production of HCl and digestive enzymes. Nearly all food is absorbed in the small intestine through some, such as alcohol and refined sugars, are absorbed through the stomach. Small intestine. The SI is roughly 25 feet long, 6 to 7 meters. Each section is lined with special receptor sites that absorb particular foods. Digestive enzymes from the pancreas and bile from the liver are released into the SI to aid in the digestion of foods. Once receptors have digested food, it's sent through the portal vein to the liver for processing. From there, it's delivered to the cells of your body via the bloodstream to be converted into energy and to rebuild or repair cells. Unwanted or indigestible food particles are sent to the colon for final processing before leaving the body. Large intestine, colon. The colon is 5 to 6 feet long and about 3 inches in diameter. The colon acts as a specialized organ for producing certain vitamins and for recycling useful water for the body. There are trillions of bacteria inside a healthy colon, some of them friendly, some not. The optimal ratio is 85% friendly to 15% unfriendly. Many people today have closer to 85% unfriendly and only 15% friendly. Friendly bacteria initially come from mother's milk, making yet another argument for the benefits of breastfeeding. Friendly bacteria produce vitamins B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B12, A, and K. They also produce a lactic acid byproduct that helps stimulate peristalsis, which is movement of the colon. This prevents constipation and makes the environment unfavorable for unfriendly bacteria. Consuming poor quality food, especially processed foods, can create an alkaline environment in the colon that supports an overgrowth of unfriendly bacteria. Peristalsis is disrupted, leading to constipation and an even more favorable environment for the unfriendly bacteria and parasites. A backed up colon is a toxic colon. When the body is dehydrated, the colon squeezes as much water from feces as possible. This results in both constipation and the absorption of toxic fluids into the bloodstream. The poopy policeman, as seen in Figure 2, and poopy lineup from left to right: the flasher, diarrhea, pellet man, the bodybuilder, Olympic swimmer, Mr. Sinker and Stinker. The poopy lineup and poopy. I developed the poopy lineup and poopy policeman to teach clients and their children how to recognize symptoms of dehydration, poor digestion, and toxicity. Ancient physicians relied primarily on physical and emotional symptoms along with the feces and urine of their patients to make a diagnosis. They'd smell the feces, examine it, and break it open in search of undigested food particles, worms, blood, mucus, tissue particles, and any other indicator of internal imbalance. Ancient physicians actually tested urine for excess sugar and the level of acidity. While your doctor isn't likely to grovel around in your stool or taste your urine, there is a lot you can learn about your digestion through self-examination. The poopy policeman represents a healthy bowel movement. For a bowel movement to qualify as a poopy policeman, it must Be well-shaped and consistent in contour. Pass easily and pleasurably. Be light brown in color. Smell natural, almost earthy, not foul. Float, yet doesn't require multiple attempts to flush. Familiarity with the following bowel bandits will help diagnose an irregular or dysfunctional digestive elimination system. The flasher. The flasher gives you a peek at the undigested food particles in the stool. It's not normal to see food particles in your stool, as it's a sign of food intolerance or an inflammatory disorder of the digestive system.